Hi, so this week was a big milestone for me personally, for my family, and for the Zero Tailpipe YouTube channel, in that my family finally joined me here after our kind of UK to Denmark move, and that's amazing. I'm really glad that they're here. They're settling in very nicely. It was a bit of a week that I'd rather never live through again. It was very stressful. There were moments where I had to kind of disappear off into the relative calm of places like the botanical gardens in Aarhus, just to kind of calm down and breathe and get over issues like, for instance, our international removals company that we paid a ton of money to, made an absolute dog's dinner of picking up our stuff in the UK. I won't name and shame. Let's see how they do when they bring things here to Denmark. Now the fun can really begin because they're here and I'm not stressed about, them being at a distance and worrying about other things. We still have the big financial milestone to get over of the completion of our UK house sale. And once that's done, we can really kind of bite the bullet and go for some options here. But I'm likely to make some decisions now in the short term because my family are here and I can actually test things out and see if it works with all of us. My son has started kindergarten. My daughter will soon start school. I definitely don't want to get into kind of party political issues, but obviously part of the backdrop of us moving here is Brexit. And now this week has my family I've been showing them around Aarhus, downtown and other places, and they've been enjoying the nature here. And we've got them registered so that now they are protected by the Danish Brexit Act. And that makes our rights equivalent to EU citizens, regardless of whether there's now a no deal or whatever happens in the UK. So that was, a worry and a stress for us getting my family here before anything might happen to make sure that they were protected. They're all sorted out now. It was a whole week of kind of bureaucracy as well as this kind of crazy move stuff, getting over that. Our stuff is still not here. The house is practically empty. There's still kind of echoey room here. I've actually bought a better mic solution, so I'm hoping that will kind of improve things. Part of the week as well of their arrival was I was doing some last minute shopping at IKEA and using the Tada Renault Zoe electric car rental scheme and had a tyre blowout. So that cost me a pretty penny because I just paid the default kind of own risk of 3,000 Danish crowns, about 375 pounds sterling, something like that. It was such a stressful week that I didn't even kind of bat an eyelid. I just carried on putting furniture together while the repair truck was coming. The people who turned up were great. Tada as a company were wonderful about it, great, very professional service. I'm on a street that's under construction, lots of houses under construction, and there's these giant rocks, I'll cut away to some footage now, that you'd typically expect to see like tied to a stick in a museum as kind of prehistoric axes and stuff. They're just littered across all the street, and one of them just went straight through the tyre and it was a major blowout. Luckily it was just as I was stopping and I wasn't hurt, the car wasn't badly damaged, but basically the tyre was gone and the car had to be towed away. So far there haven't been any kind of major electric car tests. I'm looking forward to being able to do that with them now, and as I say, once we're over the financial milestone of the house sale completing in the UK, we're very free then and have some resources to make decisions. It probably won't be the second gen IONIQ Electric though. Part of my plans did actually include trying to test and see if a second gen IONIQ Electric, the 38.3 kilowatt hour, would be good for us. I've previously done a video on this channel about, is it a good buy? And it seemed like a good buy, apart from the one potential Achilles heel of its charging rates. And now since then, Bjorn Nyland from the Tesla Bjorn YouTube channel, who I've met a few years back, very nice guy, he's been in Amsterdam testing the second gen IONIQ Electric at some sort of Hyundai launch event. And, it seems like a great car. It's got some nice sort of technical upgrades, a few cosmetic upgrades. You can get like a two-tone seat interior and stuff that looks really nice. But, and a big but, so it's a more expensive car because it has a bigger battery capacity. It can go slightly further range than the older one. The efficiency is probably about the same. But the rapid charging rates are really slow. So when I made the video about the car, I noted that Hyundai had said in the press releases that the pack voltage was lower at about 319, 320 volts DC, and that basically on rapid chargers that are often current limited will bring down the rapid charging, the power, the kilowatts you get. So if your use case is very short trips or within the range of the car that you never need to rapid charge it out on the go or more than once out on the go or not that much, it might still be a fine car. But I think for a lot of other people, they're going to be sticking with the first gen IONIQ if they already have one and not upgrading, or looking for second hand first gen IONIQ Electrics, because we're looking at kind of Renault Zoe type rapid charging speeds, the kind of current Renault Zoe, not the 50 kilowatt hour one that's coming with CCS charging, or kind of rapid gate Leaf rapid charging rates. I won't go into all the details. Tesla Bjorn Nyland will be putting up videos on his channel about that. I'm just putting in a few screenshots here of the charging rates, which you can see get lower and lower as higher states of charge are reached. So you're looking at hour or hour plus rapid charging. Yeah, so we won't be looking for a second-gen IONIQ Electric. I might still go and try and see one if one appears in a showroom here in Aarhus or maybe in Copenhagen in Denmark. But yeah, I'm quite sad about that. As someone who basically, I started this channel on the back of having a second-hand UK IONIQ Electric, it's really sad to see what Hyundai has done to it. And I can't quite work out why they've done that. Why ruin such a great car? One of the iconic kind of first wave or 1.5 wave of really efficient electric cars, one of the most efficient production electric cars, capable of really fast rapid charging on these new wave of higher power chargers now coming out in the UK and across the rest of Europe. And yet, they've kind of nerfed it really by putting in this particular pack. And strange, maybe they don't want to sell a lot of them. Maybe they want to push people towards the Kona. Maybe they don't think people rapid charge that often. Maybe they've done their research on their kind of user base and so on. But yeah, really bizarre design decision. And I won't be looking at that. But we may well be looking at the most base, sort of bare bones entry-level Tesla Model 3 that we can get, probably on finance, and looking at other things. The first thing I've taken my family out on, though, and you might groan if you don't like the bike stuff, but yeah, we've been on an Urban Arrow family cargo e-bike this morning, actually, and my kids loved it, so I'm going to cut to a bit of footage of that in a moment. And we also looked at another brand, which I think comes out of Copenhagen, of these trike kind of cargo bikes with tilting wheels. So a far more stable kind of suspension or articulation of the wheels so that you can the bike naturally leans into corners. And I stopped a lady in the street to ask her which one it was. And it's Butchers and Bikers, I think, is the brand. And looks like a great bike. Again, expensive, like the Urban Arrow family is very expensive. But the trouble is my children, two of them, because of their ages, the age gap between them and their sizes, wouldn't fit in it together. So we tried this morning in a shop, and you'll see my daughter here getting progressively unhappy about being squished in this. And of course, when I looked at the footage later, you can see that basically the kind of sitting box is about half on between the Urban Arrow family. It's very long, and she's got plenty of leg room, and it's quite wide. And then in this kind of other three-wheeler bike, she's quite squished. My son thought both were fantastic, and particularly getting in the door and so on the three-wheel bike, he thought was the best thing ever, and he wanted to buy both of them there and then straight away. And so that was that. And now we're switching to, I'm narrating now because I'm going to show the footage of the full test drive of this Urban Arrow family. So my daughter was doing a lot of the filming on a GoPro, and I was very impressed that the seat belts actually fit her securely. They went fully over her shoulders, and they secured in, and she was strapped in on the kind of 3-point harness down below. And then the gentleman from the shop was explaining to me basically some of the controls, how this this got sort of continuous gears actually, so you can sort of have your ideal kind of pedaling speed or your pedaling cadence as you go along. I put the seat down because I wanted to be able to put my feet flat on the floor. This is YouTube. This is me in my channel. You can see it was a real street here with buses and traffic and sort of bemused pedestrians and children in pushchairs coming past. And I'd never ridden one of these things before. This is kind of as hair-raising for me as it probably is for you watching it. But I'm giving it a go and seeing what happens. And this was trying to get the stand off. So it's got this sort of 2 feet stand to be very stable, but you've got to basically sort of push it forward and it clicks off. And then we were off out into the street and off we go. And I started a bit wobbly, and he was telling us where to go to get away from the traffic to try it out. And I got more confident as I started to understand it, but we'll cut to some real footage now.
Yeah, it's filming.
Okay, this is unusual. Hang on.
Oh my god.
Hello everybody! We're in the bicycle!
Yeah, it's a crazy bicycle.
Whoa! It's like riding the most insane roller coaster. It really feels like I'm on a roller coaster. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so my son was having fun waving to people and enjoying it, and people were waving back to us. I basically started off with too much assist and with the gears too kind of steeply set, as if we were going up hills all the time. And it's such a powerful bike, actually, we didn't need that. So when I sort of brought the gearing down and brought the assist levels down, it became much more stable, and I got more confident in riding it, as you can see from the rest of the footage here now.
Thanks.
Yeah. You can extend it if you want to put it further away.
I'll just do this.
Okay, just be careful. Take quite a while. Try to get the driver of school. I'm going to go one more time around. No, that's not right, but it's not quite so jerky. A couple of laps.
Yeah.
Oh, it's quite adjustable. Yeah, it's about getting the gearing only at what you need it, so that you don't. I quite like it actually. How's it now?
Yeah, it's good, especially with the monitor. It's really cool. Okay. I'm trying my best as I can to be stable.
Yeah, it does take a bit of getting used to.
Don't worry, we'll get some fun jobs. I just know it.
Whoa! Papa!
Yeah.
I wave your hand. Your tail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of riding it.
I have
I
it
quite like it.
Daddy! Whoa!
Now we're doing 26 kilometers.
Mama!
Okay, guys, parking, yeah.
So we're going down this way. I've tried to show some other times what I've been doing, so I hope you can all see
I'm
it.
going to go left.
So this is
Yeah.
all the landscapes we are seeing.
Hey! Whoa! We do it to run the race. We don't win the race, Papa.
Yeah. I basically do have to use turbo
Woo!
for a bit lower. It's a bit lower.
Okay, like this.
Yeah, point it down. It's very wide.
Do,
angle.
do, do. Go in the
Okay, now
race.
hang on the Paris. I did it too much Paris. Very unstable. And I'm like really wildly rotating.
So this is what we are seeing. Yeah.
We're going to go right again down the cycle lane. We're
Woohoo!
going to try and turn fairly
This
tight.
is
A bit too tight.
fun.
Hang on, yeah, it's okay. Stable. Up a
This is picture.
bit.
Yeah, it's exactly what you were talking about. Branches and twigs in your faces. But it's still fun. We're probably going to get...
For us.
We're probably going to get a cover if we do
Yeah.
get this bike. But I can still record you. What do you want to say?
I want to say Peppa Pig. I want to talk about Peppa Pig. One day in Peppa Pig, I said, when you finish, you Peppa Pig.
We are not stopping. And we are now getting back into the shop. So
Hello, Mama.
there we
There's
go.
like a
We have fun.
Yeah, you had fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of
Okay, now
fun.
let's see if I can put this down. So that's the kind of update for now, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. There'll be more coming now that you can probably tell I'm calmer, and I really want to go out and do lots of test drives now. That's what's going to be coming up. I'm not still convinced that there's that much has changed from the last time I was hunting for an electric car back in kind of, what would that have been? Late 2017, obviously right beginning of 2018, when I got the second-hand IONIQ Electric in the UK. Things haven't changed that much. There's a few things on the horizon, but it's pretty much the same pool of electric cars that it seems to have been before. But I'm probably going to make a choice on a bike or a set of bikes in the short term, because they're kind of slightly, much smaller outlay and so on. And we'll see where it goes. So we may well be leaning in the Tesla Model 3 direction now. I can't see that much with the new IONIQ out of the running, and the limited availability on the e-Soul and the e-Niro and the Kona Electric. And maybe even the Volkswagen ID and stuff. I don't know what the availability is like and the lead times, the waiting times. Yeah, so we'll see. And I plan to do more testing. I got to go back to the Tesla store. Luckily, there's a Tesla store here in Aarhus, and check various things out. So it's kind of fun few weeks ahead. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me, and bye for now.
Just a bike, Mama. Okay?